Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Dr. Andes Haji Mumu Abdurrahman M.pd as my academic supervisor. The Honorable Dr. Nia Kurniawati as a head of English department. And the Honorable Ms. Shopia Fitri Munawaroh M.pd as the lecturer of Seminar of English Language Teaching. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ayunda Salsabila and I'm from PBI 7A. Allow me to present my research proposal. And the title is Engaging Senior High School English as a Foreign Language Student in Retelling Movie Story Activities to Improve Their Speaking Skills, a true experimental study at second grades of Vocational High School Karya Budi Bandung. Table of contents. The first is introduction, second is research questions, third is literature review, fourth is research method, and the last one is data collection procedure. The first one is introduction. In the era of globalization, the use of English is important for several aspects, which in education aspect. There are 4 skills to master English, namely spoken, written, reading, and listening. One of the key to mastering is language is speaking. Speaking is delivery of language through the mouth. To speak, we create sounds using many parts of our body, including the lungs, vocal tract, vocal cord, tongue, teeth, and lips. According to Brown in 1974 and Browns and Joyce in 1977, speaking is also need to be taught in the class, especially English, because it is a foreign language. The purpose of speaking English is so that students can communicate both early on or in writing using English, because one way of communication is listening. Speaking is an interactive process of constructing meaning that involves producing and receiving and processing information. In this research, I'm using a technique like retelling movie story activities. And according to Comeback in 1986, in Stoy Coffee in 2004, state that retelling is a process of memorizing what we listen to and read. Further, Stoikov and state that in relation to language teaching, retelling technique can be used as a way to promote student comprehension and understanding of discourse. And Stoikov in 2004 also points out that based on the several studies, retelling has a positive influence in language learning, as it improving students' skill in re-engaging information from the text that they have read or movie that have watched. Next is research question. The first question is, what thing makes students difficult to learn speaking? The second question is, will learning speaking through retelling movie story make it easier for students? Next is literature review. The first is, in addition, Brown and Cumbert in 1987 mentioned that during the retelling process, students apply and develop their language knowledge through the internalization of the text for the features. And storytelling also, the technique has been known as one of teaching activities in second of foreign language classes. One of the reasons is because they tell so much on words, offering a major and constant source of language experience for children. In addition, stories themselves can be considered language teaser to use as a model of language for students of different level and age. And according to Deacon and Murphy in 2001, retelling helps teachers identify the level of students' comprehension of what they listen and read. In addition, retelling is a common way that many people use as part of their communication. And next is research method. Research design I'm using in this research is a qualitative research design. For population, the second grade of Vocational High School Karya Budi Bandung, and for sample, I take them 30 students from one classes in the school. For instrumentation, in this research, the researchers I'm used a true experimental design. The first, according to three steps. First is pre-test, treatment, and post-test. And the last one is data collection procedures. Conducted in Vocational High School Karyabudi Bandung, the data collection started with first one is pre-test. And for pre-test was conducted in the first meeting to measure the student's speaking skill before treatment. I'm give an oral test and the student can answer the question that I given to them. And the next is treatment. In this treatment, I divide the student into groups. First is experimental class, and the next is control group. For experimental class, I taught the student about the narrative text or fiction story movie. Then the student were taught of some important ways to retell the narrative story by using storytelling technique. And for control group, in the classroom, I only taught and explained about narrative text. Then the students were given some exercise in oral such as a reading and the narrative text loudly in the front of the class. And next is post-test. The post-test was conducted in the last meeting to measure students' speaking skill after getting the treatment. I'm give an oral test again, similar with the pre-test, and I'm asked the student to both in the experimental or control class were interviewed and asked some questions, and the topic is about the movie that they have watched in before. And after collecting the data, the next step is study analysis or data analysis. In the data analysis, I analyze by using quantitative data analysis. In analysis, the test score of the speaking test statistical. To get the data of student speaking ability, I'm use oral test. In scoring student speaking ability, I'm use the scoring system according to Brown. The first is grammar, second is vocabulary, comprehension, fluency, and the last is pronunciation. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you so much for a nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.